Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the weekly comic roundup. We've made it through most of this week's books. Now it's on to our final batch, this week's Batman books. Kicking things up, we've got Catwoman number 46. Where we left off, Catwoman had gone to the docks on a tip from Nightwing that one of the powered thugs he deals with, Amygdala, was seemingly going to be in Gotham and coming in through the docks. We opened up with a flashback. Selena thinking about how she misses Batman more than one would think. Kind of going, the good times, including some of the really good times, and the fights. Kind of very much a saying that it's not every day you meet someone who you love enough to fight with. But in the present, Amygdala goes after at the docks. Amygdala goes after Catwoman. However, Valmont shows up to stop the two mafia dons, Tommaso and Ivanescu, from interfering. But Catwoman manages to evade Amygdala enough to kick him a few times, and Valmont says maybe that maybe they should take him out, and Catwoman responds that he's not a threat though. He's a brain injury patient, not an evil man. And so Black Mask calls Ivanescu and Tommaso down to his subterranean office. Say this would be a gentleman's club. The three of them, and currently also Amygdala, as well as maybe their hired help as well. Meanwhile, Catwoman's meeting with Aiko Hasegawa, and explaining kind of how things are sitting, and Hasegawa knows that the others are meeting without her. And but Selena also informs Aiko that she needs to take back the docks in a public manner, and also in a public manner denounce Catwoman. And so the plan is hatched. The next day, Selena and Valmont go shopping. Selena needs to get out of town, though, preferably out of the country. But she doesn't take care of. At Capello's Ristorante, Aiko meets with Black Mask, Tommaso, and Ivanescu. and they want her to prove her loyalty, and so she calls Selena, you know, get her to meet at the docks, and to explain that there's a bomb set up on Hasegawa's yacht. Aiko says her piece to over the phone to Catwoman, and then the yacht is blown up. Catwoman, that was part of the plan, though, and so Catwoman leaves town, though Aiko is taking on the Catwoman mantle. With the thought being that there's no need for Abedescu, Black Mask, and Tommaso to know that Catwoman's out of town. But that is where the issue ends. Which brings us to our next book for the video. Harley Quinn number 20. Yes, this is the homage variant. I think that's for the first appearance of Batgirl. This is the other variant. So, where we left off, Task Force XX was in the old moon-based Justice League HQ looking for Element X for Luke Fox, and well, it seems Element X had found Lashina. So Luke Fox thinks back on when he learned of Element X, as well as everything he did learn about it, and so he decided the best thing to do was send it to space, so put it on the and stored it in the old Justice League headquarters. But his task force is trying to find Lashina. Grundy gets shot. There's a bit more shooting. Lashina then shows up, and kind of maybe we should, you know. And then Element X merges with Grundy as well, and so Grundy and Lashina become one big hideous-looking creature. Element X tries to talk to Harley, but she she's not having it. So it goes after the rest of the task force, and including Killer Frost, who drains some of its life force. So she explains that she learned she could do recently. But the creature escapes and hits the teleporters and is heading to Earth. But Luke leaves his lab and is promptly stopped by a bunch of military personnel who are placing him under arrest just as Element X arrives and starts taking them over, and greets Luke by saying, "Hello, Father," and that is where the issue ends. Interesting. I don't remember if Task Force XX is a 4 or 5 part story. I know that there's next week's issue, and then after that there's the annual. So We'll see. Moving on to our next book, we've got Nightwing number 95. Where we left off, after the arrest of Bloodhaven's extraordinarily corrupt police commissioner, um, his files on all of Blockbuster's dirty deeds had fallen into the hands of Nightwing and Oracle. The mayor had been, Nightwing's half-sister, had been called to meet with Blockbuster, mainly on account of the fact he claimed to have realized that the mole in his operation is clearly Electrocutioner. So she gets with the intention of freeing Electrocutioner, and ends up spilling the beans in front of him, and the issue with her being electrocuted and seemingly knocked out. But as she wakes up, Nightwing shows up to save her. Audra gets her out of there. Meanwhile, the former commissioner is being interrogated by two of the detectives on the force. One is explaining that he claims to have a file with all the information that on Blockbuster's actions. Well, and states he, depending on, he'll turn over the file in exchange for full immunity. One of the interrogating officers shoots the former commissioner. Downtown, Commissioner Sawyer and I can't. Detective Turpin meet with the mayor, who informs them of everything, including that she has the full files. However, the mayor brings Maggie to meet with another couple of contacts of hers, Nightwing and Batwoman, Maggie's ex. Nightwing proposes a plan. Not only requires, but would have a lot of help. The Bat family and the Titans. All of them going after all of Blockbuster's operations at once. A shipment of arms coming into the Bloodhaven docks. A cargo plane trafficking people from Bloodhaven Airport 20 minutes previously. A few tons of very poorly made, very harmful substance are being trucked in. And Boss Maroni himself will be at a rare jewels buy. He likes shiny things. And so, the plane seemingly goes off without a hitch. Blockbuster and his thugs go for a drive, arriving at Haven, and Blockbuster fires a rocket into the park. But Oracle gets in touch with Nightwing to let him know what's going on. Rushes into the Haven library. Nightwing rushes into the Haven library, which is burning. Apparently, Blockbuster's got his hands on the heads of two kids. He basically says, drop the sticks or I crush your skulls. And Blockbuster starts pounding on him. Hard enough that he knocks Nightwing's mask off, revealing his identity. And that is where the issue ends. Things are definitely getting interesting here. I imagine Blockbuster will soon be no longer a current thorn in Nightwing's side, but time will tell on that one. Next up, we've got Batman the Knight number 8. Where we left off, Bruce had been learning escape artist tricks from John Zatara, father of Zatanna Zatara, and had learned of the existence of magic and demons. So the issue begins. His line has been broken. He's caught by a new partner. Apparently, his new partner also trained a young man named Anton. It's made clear that Anton is Ghostmaker. Bruce continues his trek and comes upon a man who claims to be the world's smartest man. Basically, he wants to learn how to turn his emotions off. But it's explained that that's the worst thing he could do. It's kind of use your emotion, but he's showing a couple of pictures. Outside, there's some commotion. Anton shows up, injured. The person who injured him is waiting outside the still, and so Bruce and the still duke it out. Bruce wins, but only just. And the still explains that he is working for Ra's al Ghul. Who wishes to train Bruce. After knocking out his latest teacher, Bruce leaves with Anton. And well, the two of them steal one of their region host's cars and head out to find Ra's al Ghul. And that is where the issue ends. I was kind of getting the feeling Anton would turn out to be Ghostmaker. It really did seem to fit. The attitude, the thoughts. I do kind of dislike the fact that it retcons some of the stuff that James Tynion IV set up with the character early on in his early appearances, but oh well. Moving on to our last book of the week, we've got Batman, One Bad Day, the Riddler. So this is the first in a series of one-shots, each one focusing on a different member of Batman's Rogues Gallery. Each one will be called, Batman One More Day, and then whichever rogue it is. The one bad day concept comes from The Killing Joke, where the basic idea behind The Killing Joke was that Joker theorized that all it takes is one bad day to make someone as crazy as he is, and so he decided to put Commissioner Gordon through one just absolutely terrible day. There's a reason that I'm bringing that. There are reasons I'm bringing that, aside from the whole story. So we begin with a man leaving from work, talking to his wife as he's getting ready to leave. As he's waiting for a car, The Riddler walks up to him, shoots him, and then apparently waits for the police to arrive. While being questioned by Gordon, Riddler's wanted to talk to Batman, but apparently Batman said that Riddler's not worth his time. But it's explained, he talks about the one bad day theory, and Riddler simply says, riddle me this. How'd the Joker know you'd be home with Babs that day? How do you know where you live? How did you get past your security? We both know him. He's a weird guy, complicated, but never much of a planner. So, Riddler kind of imitates the phone, you know. Hey, Eddie, how's tricks? I want to do the whole one bad day thing, but I've got no idea where to start. Well, Jack, how about the commissioner's daughter? I had the whole thing staked out, but it was so easy, I got bored with it. I'll give it to you for a song. That would be perfect, Eddie. And tell you what, I'll throw in a dance for free. Ha 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 ha. Click. Yeah, that doesn't exactly sit well with Gordon. We also get some flashbacks to Enigma's childhood. Apparently his father was the headmaster of a prestigious boarding school. He was enrolled at a young age, much younger than the normal youngest students, but also disciplines him for not having perfect marks. Bruce Wayne attends the funeral of the man that Riddler killed. Does what he can to provide comfort to those left behind. Apparently, what's the problem that Edward's having is that there's a teacher who adds a riddle to his tests. Even with a riddle me this. But upon messing up another one, Riddler briefly contemplates unaliving himself. He calls for his father and is prepared for his father to discipline him. Batman questions some of Riddler's goons. But he's investigating. Batman's investigating. In the past, apparently Riddler beat a teacher who did riddles to death on the basketball court. While in jail, he manages to amputate the fingers of one of his guards. Batman talks to Riddler's father, who says that his son's a genius. He's also an idiot. In the past, there was another Riddler broke into Edward broke into his father's files and found the professor's answer key. Used it and got the riddle on the next test wrong, which led to him beating the teacher to death. Gordon's said to take Riddler to Arkham, but apparently though Riddler knows the names and backgrounds of the SWAT officers that are there with Riddler, and manages to set things up so that the bunch of them kill each other. Eventually, it's also stated that Riddler poisoned Barbara Gordon's cats. So, Batman goes to talk to the Riddler. And he explains that he's got a new game. Batman so much as touches Riddler again. A random person, that neither of them know, will be killed by the Riddler. But Riddler holds up at a nice hotel. And Batman informs the widow what happened. Widow's not exactly happy about how things went, but apparently Riddler's got the roof of the GCPD bugged and is listening in to Batman and Gordon talk. Only it's a recording, and as Riddler puts on his hat, he discovers that Batman is standing right behind him. That is where the issue ends. Interesting. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of these as they come out. And from looks of things, the B covers for each one will be by an artist who, well, in all honesty, favorite comic book artist of all time, Jim Lee. So, nice covers to look at. Anyway, that is going to do it for now. As always, for this week, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.